trying to describe what it feels like to get to $1,000 a day is really no different from describing the feeling of getting $100 a day. Reason being is, $100 a day to me is more significant simply because it's a proof of concept, right? In my mind, the difference between $100 a day and $1,000 a day is literally me telling Facebook send more traffic, right? And so once you get to the point where you're at $1,000 a day, it's almost as if you've been doing it long enough to where you're like, yeah, it works. Like, no, I'm here. Getting to that $100 a day is like, will it work? Will it work? Will it work? Will it work? Ah, yes, it worked. You know, so you have more of a release at $100 a day. Once you get to $1,000 a day, it's like, okay, now I'm just scaling. Now I'm like, you know, in an automated mode. Now I'm looking at data. Now I'm doing stuff. You don't really have that, in my case at least. You know, the students are like, yes, it works, but what can I do next? What can I do more? It's more the, oh, how do I get to that first 100? Because the reality is, when you tell people, hey, you can make $1,000 a day, most people, they would be happy with $1,000 a month. And so it seems as if it's outside of their reach. And so if we say to you, hey, listen, I can get you to that first $100 a day, that feeling of, I literally had nothing, I had a thought in my mind, I wrote a few words, and now I have $100, I don't know, you can't describe that. Like, that is a feeling that you're just like, you know, it's like trying to walk someone through, okay, how do you drive a car? I mean, I can tell you the mechanics of it, but actually being in the car and driving, that feeling, that first time, it's indescribable. You know, you have to actually have it for yourself. But the thing is, that's what you want for all your students. You want them to be able to have that feeling of, oh man, you know, I can't believe it. And I've had people who get to the $100 a day, and the reason they're not getting to $1,000 a day is because, oh, I'm afraid that if I try to scale, it's going to break. Well, do you want the $1,000 a day or not? If you want the $1,000 a day, then you have to be willing to take that risk. You have to be willing to take the chance of, hey, listen, let me go. Because here's the thing, if you try to scale it and you break it, you know what not to do. You can replicate it, because you can go again and say, oh wow, I broke it when I tried this, so next time I'm not going to do that. But if you don't do it and you're just like, okay, I'm content staying where I am, then what ends up happening is that when that breaks, you don't know how to fix it. And then that's where it gets frustrating, because you can't replicate your success. And so, yes, it's great to be at $1,000 a day, but to consistently get $100 a day, yeah, that's a feeling where you're just like, it works. You know, because it's like saying, you know, I've had $5,000 days, I've had $10,000, $20,000 days. The feeling between 20,000 and 10,000, there's really no difference. If you've done it for yourself enough times, the next time you do it is not as exciting. You know, it is what it is. But to have someone else do it, it's almost like you're a proud parent. Like, wow, you know, my son learned how to walk today. You know, you can't describe, like, you know, that feeling of, wow, you know, it's almost like you're a proud parent, and you just can't, you're so happy for them, because the possibilities and the trajectory that their life can now take, because I know that when I started and I had my life, you know, changed by doing this, it's like, okay, you know, being able to travel the world and doing all the things that you want to do and live life on your terms. You know, not have someone over you. Like, all of that is encompassed in $100 a day. Like, you'd never realize that a simple $100, simple 3 or 4 sales, or however many sales it takes to get to $100, that means that you can now, you know, potentially travel. You can now be free. You can now, you know, help your family. There are a lot of things that you can do if you're able to consistently do $100 a day. And I know, even if a student doesn't realize that, I know that, because I've lived that. And so that's the feeling that you get, like, oh man, strap on your seatbelts, because you don't even know what's about to come. And that's a feeling that you get. It's hard, again, it's hard to describe. You need to be there with us in order to experience it with us. So yeah.